Good evening. You're watching the main news on HKIBC. I'm Janice Lo. Here's a look at tonight's top stories. Government workers could get a salary increase of up to 4.6% if the authorities accept the findings of a pay trend report. A search is underway in the Indian Ocean for 39 crew members of a capsized Chinese fishing boat. And tech titan Tencent records a sharp rise in quarterly revenue from advertising and gaming. Civil servants could get a pay rise of up to 4.6% if the government follows the findings of the Pay Trend Survey Committee. But the committee emphasized that the survey result is not the only factor that the government will consider. Hong Kong's 180,000 civil servants could get a pay rise higher than the blanket 2.5% they received last year. After studying more than 100 private companies in the past year, the Pay Trend Survey Committee said junior civil servants could take home an extra 4.5% this year. Middle band staff could be paid 4.65% more, and senior servants an additional 2.87%. For example, the starting pay point for an assistant clerical staff is $15,950 a month. If the Executive Council approves a 4.5% increase for junior staff, their pay will rise by $718 to $16,668. A middle band administrative officer on $57,395 could get an extra $2,669, taking the salary to just above $60,000. While a senior-level chief executive officer earning a little over $120,000 could get a rise of $3,459, bumping up the pay to nearly $124,000. Last year, the committee found that public sector salaries rose by between 2.04% and 7.26%, but finally, all civil servants received a 2.5% pay rise. The committee emphasized that its survey report is only one of the factors that the government has to consider before making the final decision.
This is not the committee's proposal for pay adjustment. This is merely an occasion to announce the survey results that the committee has conducted to try to gauge the extent of pay adjustment in the private sector for the past year.
Noting a significant difference between the top and lower grades, Leung said the committee would not speculate on the gap. He pointed out that the salary increment would not be affected by decisions in previous years, adding that his group will meet staff representatives this month to obtain their views. Some labor groups expressed satisfaction with the pay trend survey result. They hope the government will stick to the findings to boost staff morale. The city's largest trade union group pointed out that many civil servants were dissatisfied with the 2.5% pay rise last year. Lawmaker Kwok Wai-keung from the Federation of Trade Unions said he hoped the government would not use the pandemic or economic difficulties as an excuse to offer an increment that is lower than the findings in the pay trend report. He said a pay rise should reflect the authorities' determination to retain talent. The Federation of Hong Kong and Kowloon labor unions said the survey results match its expectations. Chairman Lam Chun Sing noted that the pay trend survey has been effective and credible, as many public and non-governmental organizations use the government's pay increase as a reference. Lam said the Executive Council should consider the impact its final decision will have on other workers. The union's Secretary General, Chow Siu-chung, said in order to attract talent, a salary increase for public servants will have to catch up with the private sector. The head of the Federation of Civil Service Unions, Leung Chao-ting, found the survey results were in line with the market. He expressed a hope that the pay increase will follow the results to avoid a loss of staff morale.
Employees of KMB and its sister company Longwin Bus are seeking an 8% pay rise. Lai Siu-chung, who heads the KMB branch of the Motor Transport Workers General Union, met the management to press the demand but has yet to receive an answer. Lai said some workers found it hard to support their families as their overtime pay has shrunk. The management said it has yet to approve a pay rise because of the operational difficulties it faced during the pandemic. It added that it's still waiting for the government to approve its application for a fair increase. KMB and Longwin also said it has a mechanism to adjust salaries and will refer to the government's pay indicator. Football Association Chairman Pui Kwan-kay says a crackdown on match fixing will have little impact on the development of the sport in the city. He noted that bookmakers might have targeted clubs in the lower divisions because the elite Premier League is tightly monitored. Macy Mok reports.
11 footballers and a coach from one of the city's oldest clubs, Happy Valley, have been arrested by the ICAC in the biggest match-fixing crackdown in recent years. But Football Association Chairman Pui Kwan-kay does not believe that the roundup will have a big impact on the development of the sport in Hong Kong, because it involves what he calls a low-level amateur league. Happy Valley competes in the First Division, which is the second tier of Hong Kong football. Pui said because games in the top-flight Premier League are closely monitored to prevent match rigging, crime syndicates might have targeted clubs in the lower divisions. The Football Association will step up monitoring of all leagues, Pui said, but admitted that as it is a difficult task, law enforcement agencies have to step in. Pui, who is also chairman of the Happy Valley Athletic Association, was asked if paying lower league players more would prevent them from being tempted by bookmakers. He noted that footballers in the first, second, and third divisions have full-time jobs, and their clubs are not rich enough to give them more money. The ICAC has said footballers involved in match fixing were paid up to $10,000 per game. Maisie Mok, HKIBC.
Overseas, 39 crew members are missing after their Chinese fishing boat capsized in the middle of the Indian Ocean. According to a tracking website, Lu Pengyuan Yu 028 was on its way to South Korea after setting off from Cape Town a fortnight ago. It lost contact about 1,400 kilometers off the southern coast of Sri Lanka, not far from the path of a tropical cyclone. State media confirmed the trawler capsized yesterday morning, but did not provide a precise location. There were 17 Chinese sailors, 17 Indonesians, and 5 Filipinos on board. President Xi Jinping has ordered a thorough search for survivors. 7 primary school children in Australia remain in hospital in serious condition the day after their bus overturned on the outskirts of Melbourne.
The children have suffered multiple and traumatic injuries, including partial and complete amputations of arms, multiple crushed limb injuries, severe lacerations to head and body, head injuries, glass shard injuries, and 3 patients are currently receiving spinal support and being monitored carefully in terms of spinal injuries.
The accident happened shortly after a bus carrying 45 children left the school. A truck plugged into the bus, causing it to roll over. The children, aged 5 to 11, were traumatized after being trapped inside the bus. They were rescued by firefighters. Police charged the truck driver with dangerous driving. Tencent has posted an 11% jump in first quarter revenue from a year earlier, marking the fastest growth in over a year. Revenue at 150 billion yuan topped market estimates of about 146 billion yuan. Net profit rose to 25.8 billion yuan, a 10% increase, but missing expectations. The tech giant's results were driven by a surge in its international gaming revenue, which soared 25% to 13 billion yuan. Its domestic gaming revenue rose 6% to 35 billion yuan. The operator of WeChat also saw revenue from online advertising jump 17% to 21 billion yuan as domestic consumption recovered on the mainland. Tencent is ramping up AI and cloud infrastructure development to boost growth. Now let's take a look at the markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day down 417 points. To the top 10 active stocks, Tracker Fund was down 43 cents, Tencent was down $2, and Alibaba was down 30 cents. Meituan was down $4.40, China Mobile was down $1.35, while JD.com was down $3.20. To the foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar, the euro is at 8.47, the Canadian dollar is at 5.80, and the Australian dollar is at 5.21. Over in Europe, the London FTSE 100 is currently down by 8 points. Prices for new homes on the mainland have risen for the fourth month in a row, but at a slower pace. The cost in April was 0.4% higher than in the previous month, when prices gained half a percentage point. The gradual uptrend follows efforts to boost the property sector with support measures and easier conditions for first-time buyers. But analysts are concerned that economic uncertainty may hinder the real estate revival. On to the weather now. Sunny intervals and a few showers tomorrow, but brace for thunderstorms at night. Temperatures will range between 26 and 29 degrees, more or less the same as we head into the weekend. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. That's our main news for Wednesday night. Join us for more news at 11. I'm Janice Lo. Good night.